Hey guys, all right, I am just on the phone right now, so I'm gonna mute until 9:30, and then we'll get started. I'm just waiting to talk to somebody real quick here. For you guys in the chat, can you see stuff or no? I know it. I had a little. Okay, it looks like it's showing up on my end now, but let me know if you guys can't see the screens. All right, here we go. So happy Monday. So we had a nice little move up overnight. Kind of looked like, again, with Friday being that big bounce again that we had like the previous Friday, it really looked like we were setting up for a really, a big bounce today. And honestly, it would make sense to see the big bounce after we get the big, or the push to the upside after the big bounce. However, we are actually setting up for a really nice rejection here. So you see on the daily time frame, we went up to 67.95 and 25.335 area. That is the daily 8 and 20 EMA resistance area, and we actually had a really nice rejection off of it. So again, when I went to bed last night, we were pretty green and we were steadily pushing green, so it really did look like we were going to see maybe a breakout up into like the 68.50 area and maybe up in the 25.600 area. So right now on NQ, we are already attempting to break through the daily 50 EMA support. And on ES, we're just right there too. That's that 67.25 area. But the big level I'm watching though is that 25.043 and really 67.37 to 67.65. So that is the support, specifically 67.65 and 25.043. That is the support that we need to watch here from previous bounce area. So right now, realistically, we're setting up for a pretty solid downside move. The VIX is up about 6% right now. And that 6% does give us some freedom to push lower still. So my target really for today is at 66.59 to kind of 24.757 area. So here we go. We got opening bell now. We are riding this for quite a while now, since about, let's see here, about 5 a.m. We've been riding this 15-minute 5 EMA support lower and just consistently touching it and rejecting lower. So strong downside trend right now. VX and VIX are pushing up with that trend. So again, all solid for downside continuation here. Right now, my current targets I have are 67.14 and 24.894. I would like to see a back test a little bit higher, maybe off of 67.37 and 25.027 area for a solid short entry. Just because we are pretty far away from the 5-minute 20 EMA, which is all the way up at 67.45 and 25.058. So I don't like to short when we're that far off, but we did break the range support of that 67.37 to 67.39 and that 25.027 demand area. So again, favor is to the downside, but we're going to wait for a good entry here. Wow, Google is up almost 4%. That's interesting. Oh, I bet that it's because Buffett bought. I bet everybody's buying in because he bought and everybody thinks that's a good a good idea. All right, so here's that back test. Like I said, I don't like buying when we're that far away. This is a little bit bigger of a pop than I thought, honestly. But so here's back to the 5-minute 20 EMA. So that's that level I was telling you I wanted to watch. We are still downtrending, obviously. So really, our big resistance area is at 67.52, and now the 26,000 area, or sorry, 25,100 area. So I'll be watching that for our rejection and just kind of be impatient, see which way this takes us here. But this is almost 100 points straight up reversal right there. Also, there'll be no more music, unfortunately, on the streams. I got a notice from YouTube that I was there was a copyright issue on my last stream. So, no music, which is fine. Unfortunate, but that's okay. All right, so let's see where this 5-minute candle closes here. We do have small amount of buyers coming in here on NQ specifically, which is interesting because that candle really just had impressive impressive 5-minute sellers. We actually went from aggressive sellers in this 5-minute candle to basically just kind of medium buyers right now. So big reversal there. So obviously when you see a reversal like that, you do think it's going to have continuation, but we have to remember it is breaking the trend right now. Trend is down, so if you're taking a long here, you're fighting the trend that we've been in really since 5 a.m. So this is, though, as I was mentioning, the daily 50 EMA support bounce. So that's something to note, that 25,000 level and that 67.25 area. So this is, this is kind of where the daily mixes with the intraday. So, we could, again, find bottom off the 50 EMA, and this could just be a weird sort of delayed downside before now we make the push up that we were expecting. Or this could just be a really big bounce off the 50 EMA to gain some momentum to then push this lower. So let's see where we go in this new 5-minute candle. Remember, 67.52 and 25,100 is our level to watch. So we did close just under that. So again, you know, we got some 5-minute buyers coming in really nicely here on NQ. VX and VIX are pushing down a little bit. I don't know if I like the continuation. Again, you're fighting the trend. But with that being said, I think it's too early to expect a rejection. We are starting to see some stocks go green, though. So we got Google. Wow, Google's up almost 5.3% now. Microsoft, Broadcom, and Tesla are all green. So we are doing a nice push here. So now we are coming into our 15-minute 20 EMA resistance and our 5-minute 50 EMA resistance. That's all right here, this 25,135 area. If we push, we got 67.72 and 25,205 to watch for. Now again, you know, I don't like the long here because of the EMA resistance. We do have really aggressive buyers, so that's a solid move here, but we have not technically broke the downtrend just yet. So if this 5-minute candle does hold and we do close over that 25,130 area, and if the aggressiveness of these current buyers continue to come in here, I do think we'll see a pretty good upside move here. Thanks for letting me know, Sean. I'll get that fixed for you guys here. Yeah, like I said, just let me know when that does that. I try to keep an eye, but I just go, it's hard to, a lot of screens up, so it's hard to always keep track of everything. But yeah, so VX and VIX, I mean, they actually got a pretty good rejection. This VIX candle is actually really impressive. It just engulfed pretty much the last almost 2 hours of price movement here. So, you know, again, that does favor the upside here. We are finally looking like we're going to break through. We got a minute to hold it, granted, but it does look like we're going to break through and close over this EMA resistance here. So, you know, again, looking good. We do have nearly a 200-point 15-minute candle, though, so that's a lot of movement. But we'll see what happens with this 5-minute candle. If, like I said, it closes over that 25,130 area, and maybe we can get a back test off of it, the odds of taking a long to 25,205 is a pretty solid move here. But like I said, this is a 200-point 15-minute candle, so we got to be careful. Don't want to get stopped out. Lots of movement here, so gotta be careful. So there's our closure, 67.58 and 25.130. That's kind of a back test level that I would like to see here. The buyers, they're there. They're impressive on the 5-minute time frame, that's for sure. Very, very strong. We may also have to wait for this 5-minute candle to close and then get a 15-minute pullback, which likely again would be down to the 20 EMA now support at 25.142 area. They even could overshoot it down to 25.100 and 67.52 area. So I do feel upside is the play here now, just because of the level of buyers and the big rejection on VIX and VX. But again, I will only play that long if I can get some sort of solid back test where I'm not worried about getting stopped out. Like right now, there's some justification to follow this long on up to 25.205. It's about a 25-point win here. And, you could set your short, or your stop loss, at 25.161, which is the low of this 5-minute candle. But I don't like the probability of it not rejecting lower. I actually wouldn't mind a short opportunity here, just because ES is rejecting pretty good here. But the issue with the short opportunity is you're fighting trend. So, you got to pick your battles here. This is a tough one. Monday mornings lately have been a little harder to trade, I feel like. We don't have the gap up today, which is nice, but these big moves higher always are difficult to trade. They just, first off, the biggest thing is you got to worry about volatility. You got to worry about being too early on a play and getting stopped out before it plays out perfectly. But you also have to worry about just big candles. So right here, we're looking like this is just the back test before potentially bouncing. Sean, yes, it is attempting currently to break the downtrend. The 5-minute closure over 25.130 on the 5-minute time frame, that's the 50 EMA resistance, and 67.58 on ES is technically a start of the break, the reversal of the downtrend. So the 15-minute candle now in about 2 minutes, if that closes over 67.60 and 25.141 area, that also signifies a reversal of the 15-minute downtrend. In addition, VX and VIX are attempting to break lower and close under its 15-minute 20 EMA support, which again all plays out in the same direction of breaking the downtrend. So as I was talking here, you can see we did come down to 142, not quite my 130 I was looking for, but we got real close. Big bounce off of it, and look at that. Now we're right at almost 25.205. So again, if you would have taken the long opportunity right there at the open of this candle at 170, you would have needed about 30 points of drawdown in order to now have about 25-ish, almost 30 points total at the top there. So again, volatility makes it a little tougher, but like you can see now, we're still trying to reject. So there's not a good solid play right now. I do think this is going to set up a potential 15-minute double top down to 67.52 and 25.100. I will look to take a short here on this new 15-minute candle. I would like to see a closure under 25.170. If we can get it, that would be the ideal, and then not go higher than 25.200. Okay, so there's our closure. We got the good 5-minute candle I like there. Buyers are breaking down. So this is where I do want to see a little bit of a back test higher off maybe 25,190. Definitely not over 25,200. And the 15-minute double top might play out here. And again, I think 25,100 is a pretty solid target to watch for here. So again, this is still set up for the 15-minute double top. 25,205 was that level I was watching. We still have not gotten to it yet. We are attempting to break through it right now. So again, if this punches through, then obviously the downtrend is, or the downtrend is officially broken, and also not only that, but our double top play is officially negated. But it's still in play here right now. And yes, again, I don't want to be short biased, so I am watching for the long opportunity. I am watching VX and VIX attempt to break its lows. And yes, I am watching that this did backtest off of the 5-minute 50 EMA and bounce, and also the 15-minute 20 EMA of 25,146 is bouncing us here too. So again, that does favor the potential of a breakout here, but again, it's tough because obviously we are breaking trend. So if we're breaking trend, you got to be careful to not get faked out. So VIX and VX are pushing lower now. So this is pushing through a little bit here. I would like to be cautious and wait for that closure over 25,205 first, but buyers did end up coming back in. So this is looking pretty good now to the upside. You know, again, this 5-minute candle did set us up for a perfect downtrend. However, sometimes it doesn't play out, but that's why we also wait for, you know, the setup to play out. We wait for the confirmation, which would have been the back test and rejection lower. So obviously we're not getting that, so we're not going to take the play to this downside. So now we do start looking for the upside. So again, upside would result with a 5-minute closure over at least 67.65 and at least 25,200. I don't hate it. I would take it if it closes up there and we can get in on what feels like a comfortable entry. So that is now my anticipation. And the next upside target I have is 25,355. ES is starting to show, it's starting to show that rejection though. If you look over there, we're starting to see that long 5-minute wick. So it might surprise us here in this last minute where they slap this down, or they could just be baiting everybody short, which at this point with these buyers, I think the downside is starting to be the trap and the upside is the play. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to close. Close is looking good for the upside. Remember 67.65 and 25,205. We'll look and see if we can get in on a play after this candle closes here. And then the major daily resistance to watch is 6,800, which is the ES daily 5 and 20 EMA. And then over on NQ, we have 25,381, which is that 8 EMA. Okay, so we got our close over 25,205. This looks like it's going to push. Again, I'd really like to see a little bit of a back test off 25,205. I don't like taking a new candle and just using the low of that candle. Generally speaking, it will retrace a little bit lower first. So we got to be careful on chasing. But with that being said, it does look like it wants to just get a big old pop for us here. Okay, I'm going to take the risk on the long. We are long here. So target here again, 25,355 and at least 67.72. As you see, we are using the low of the 5-minute candle there as our stop out. So that's not a bad spot. If that reverses, it probably will get a big drop down to like 25,160. But at the same time, if this goes, it's probably going to go pretty quick and pretty aggressively. So on these, I started some new funded accounts today on Tradeify. So right now, the goal for the day, and that will be for the rest of this week every day, the goal is $600 per account. So right now, I have 6 FNF accounts. 5 of those need 2 more days of really about $400 in order to take a payout of $7,500 on Tuesday. One of those accounts needs 3 more days of about $500 in order to take a payout of $1,500 on Wednesday. My MyFunded Futures accounts, I have those 5 still. I have 2 of them that now need, I got my daily goal of 100 today in all those accounts. So I have 2 of those that need $100 for 2 more days. And then on Wednesday, I can take out about $4,000. And then one of those on Friday, I can take out the next $1,000. So we're seeing a little bit of a rejection here. See if this, I think this is still going to play out to the upside here. We still got strong buyers. We're trying to break that 67.72. And 25,242 is a big level to watch. VX-VIX still coming down. Anyways, I did open up some new Tradeify accounts today. So I decided to go with the Lightning accounts. I was going to just do the growth accounts because the evals are not terrible to pass. But the Lightning accounts do give you a little bit more of a payout. And I really didn't want to mess with the evals right now. So basically, I need 5 days of about $600 in profit there to take a payout on those on Friday. So overall, you know, we got a good potential week setting up here for payouts, but we'll just have to take it easy, take it slow, and go from there. So nice little rejection there. Unfortunately, we did get stopped out. So that, again, let's see where we got stopped out. We got stopped out by 1 point, so that's always fun. But that's where, again, taking the play before a retest is a little tough, but that one did look pretty good to the upside. No big deal. It's one play. We'll get that back. Anyways, so that's kind of just the nature of the beast there. You know, we took the long. It looked good. I would take that long again probably. But we just unfortunately got stopped out by that 1 point. So we got a new 15-minute or new 5-minute candle rather that's about to open here. The buyers still look pretty good. We're not really giving us any sort of pullback to get in, which is kind of the issue here. It's really difficult to find. That was a good entry. That was a good play. We could have probably taken a quick, 10 points there, I think was the max that we saw. Let's see. 53 with the 36. So yeah, about 15 points there. Not enough where I would want to take profits. I usually don't take it more than like 15 to 20. But it is what it is. So anyways, right now, ES is rejecting at 67.72. And then NQ is kind of fighting that 25.242 area. So again, the upside still looks good. I'm not sure I want to jump back in here after taking one loss at these levels, but it does look decently good for the upside. But I would like to see some sort of downside back test before I do that. Both ES and NQ starting to show a little bit of a 5-minute double top. Again, I'm happy sitting cash here though and waiting. Nice little rejection for me here. They might actually sell this back down here. 25.205 is kind of that last bounce spot. If that doesn't bounce, so this might see a nice little push down here to that 25.140 area. So we got about a minute to close here. What I'm watching right now is really this 67.72 rejection and then 25.205 rejection. So they might have baited us. This happened last week too, if you remember, where if you look at the 940 candle, that was a nice reversal setup where it looked like we were going to go lower. And by all means, it probably should have gone lower, but they push it up a little bit longer and then they start the sell-off. So I am wondering here if this is going to start our downside move here. We are seeing a big wiki bounce on VIX and VX here. So again, looks good for the downside. We'll see if we can get maybe a closure where we can get a little bit of an upside move and then take a short. But we could again be looking at 25.100 and 67.52 being retested. All right, so here's our close. So the 15-minute ORB is closed under on NQ. ES, we're like right at the level. So a little back test off 67.71 and maybe 25.230 and then a rejection could actually set up a really nice short here. We do not have stronger buyers anymore. So again, that also favors the downside. And we did get a nice bearish engulfing 5-minute candle. All right, I took the short. See if we get this drop here. It looks pretty solid, so we'll play her out here. $145 looks like a good target. That is, again, 5-minute 50 EMA support, and that's also the 15-minute 5 and 20 EMA support. Again, they might pop this. I might have gotten bear trapped here, but it is looking pretty solid for a rejection lower. ES pushing a little bit up against us here, but I'm content with the short for now. I'm going to lock in a break even on everybody. Hopefully it doesn't stop us out at break even, but we're going to put some protection on.
Stop filled.
All right, well, they got us at break even there, and that's okay. I still like the downside, and I'm almost considering getting back in here. Kind of wish I didn't set the break even, but again, protection, you know, it is what it is. 25,175 is a bounce area to watch. Okay,
order filled.
There we go. Okay, I'm back in on the short. Again, wish I would have left the original short on, because obviously you can see I lost a good amount off of that. ES is starting to reject too. If ES does get the rejection lower here, that would be under 67.65. We should see a big flush here on NQ. So playing this out here, holding tight. Break even set. Make that a 5-point break even. 10-point break even. Unfortunately, again, I wish we would have held the original short. That would have been daily profit goal. But we got a 20-point break even here. So 25-point break even, actually. So I'm content. I want to see if we can get our full daily goal here on this candle. I think I do need to go maybe just a little bit lower. Let's see if I have the time, the calculator here. So we need 129, 130 area, really. There it is. Boom. Daily goal hit. Everybody is out, flat and all. Great play. Got a little sketchy there, but nice play, guys. I'm happy to see that. So, closing up shop here. $600 profit in everybody's accounts. Besides my funded future, everybody hits $100 profit. Happy Monday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.